Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today we'll be checking out a video titled Peaceful to Powerful. The Nordics are gearing up their armies. It's fascinating to see how Finland and Sweden's accession to NATO is strengthening the Nordic military cooperation. And this new era of cooperation is actually crucial in today's uncertain security landscape. And I'm really impressed by the Nordic countries' commitment to increasing their defense spending and modernizing their militaries. This will undoubtedly enhance their military capabilities and contribute to regional security. That's what I think. Let's check out this video, guys.
Over the past few weeks, I've reviewed how each branch of the Nordic military is upgrading, covering the latest equipment and operational changes. Many of you have asked for a summary that brings it all together in one video. So here we go. This is how the total Nordic military will look like when this decade is nearing its end. The Nordic countries, Denmark, Finland, Norway, and Sweden, have long been known for their peaceful societies and commitment to diplomacy. But as regional and global security challenges evolve, the Nordic nations are making significant military investments to ensure they're ready to defend their territory, their interests, and each other. Over the last few decades, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway have had a massive reduction in their military spending, while Finland have powered ahead with their plans for as long as I can remember. Before we get onto a summary of each branch, we're going to have a look at how GDP spent on defense has evolved over the last decades. Let's start with Sweden, who at one point during the Cold War had the fourth largest air force in the world, the best conventional submarines, a massive close to 1 million strong reserve, and, like Finland, took their defense extremely seriously. Spending and investment was kept relatively high through the Cold War, and then saw a massive drop after the Soviet Union fell. Estimates vary about how the recent investments will affect the 2024 GDP spent on military for Sweden, but it is forecast to once again be over 2% in 2024 and 2.6% in 2026. This would take the investment back to Cold War levels, and once again usher in a period where the Swedish armed forces are a force to be reckoned with. For Denmark, the fall naturally started quicker than with Sweden. Due to Denmark's long history within NATO, GDP spent on the military fell below 2% already in the 70s and came to its lowest point during 2015, with barely above 1%. This long starvation of its armed forces is something the Danish defense is paying for now, and it is expected that Denmark will be above 2.5% spent on defense in 2025. Norway sees similar figures to that of Denmark. However, it is important to note that Norway's military spending was kept over 2% for a much longer period than Denmark, and that it wasn't until the 2000s that Norway started spending less than 2% consistently. It is also worth noting that the total number for Norway is almost 30% larger than Denmark's, mainly due to Norway's GDP per capita being by far the strongest in the Nordics. So while Denmark spent around $5.4 billion for a 1.42% spend in 2022, Norway spent $8.4 billion for a 1.62% spend in the same year. Norway expects to be over 2% by 2025, and considering that their GDP is nearly on par with Sweden, that makes for a much larger investment per inhabitant than all of their neighbors, even though the percentage does not seem that big. The US, in example, spends about 2.8% of their GDP on defense, which equates to around $2,200 per citizen, while Norway will sit at around $1,700 per inhabitant spent on defense in 2025. Moving on to Finland, who historically are known for their vast army, the trend is fairly similar. What must be astonishing for Finland's neighbors is the fact that Finland have managed to keep its army top-notch with a fairly limited budget. Finland is due to increase its spending to around 2.4% of its GDP on defense in 2025, mainly due to their new fighter jets. Now, let's move on to looking at the actual upgrades. I'm going to start with the Navy. Naval strength is a cornerstone of Nordic defense, especially given the strategic importance of the Baltic Sea and North Atlantic waters. Let's look at how each country is upgrading its fleet to meet modern security demands. Denmark has taken decisive steps to modernize its navy. With a focus on blue water capabilities, they're acquiring new frigates to replace the aging Thetis-class ships. The Absalon-class support ships are also being upgraded, equipped with better defensive capabilities and advanced radar systems. Recognizing the growing importance of anti-submarine warfare, Denmark has invested in sophisticated sonar and radar tech, as well as unmanned underwater vehicles for mine detection and coastal security. These investments are vital given Denmark's location, bridging NATO forces across the North Atlantic and the Baltic. Finland is pushing forward with its ambitious Squadron 2020 project, set to reshape its navy with 4 new Pohjanmaa-class multi-role corvettes. These ships are designed for versatility, equipped to counter air, surface, and underwater threats, making them essential for Finland's coast, which is one of the longest in Europe. Alongside the corvettes, Finland has bolstered its Hamina-class missile boat with advanced anti-ship missiles, ensuring coastal areas are well guarded, as well as strengthened its investment in anti-ship missile batteries and mines.
I don't think there's any other region in the world where the neighboring countries have such a strong brotherhood and mutual respect for each other, like the Nordic countries. Like, it's so beautiful, their bond, and how they are always ready to go all out for each other, how they are ready to cooperate with each other. It's so beautiful to see. I love the bond.
Norway is enhancing its maritime force the most out of the 4 Nordic nations, including new frigates built with robust air defense systems and new unmanned and manned patrol boats. These upgrades will provide Norway with an edge in open water, essential given the country's vast North Atlantic coastline and being the NATO nation that has the shortest route to Russia's northern fleet. Norway's skilled-class corvettes are also getting upgrades, optimizing them for coastal defense, while their commitment to underwater defense is clear, with the acquisition of submarines to replace the 𝐋𝐈𝐊𝐄 fleet, one of Norway's primary underwater warfare tools. Norway is also investing heavily in maritime patrols and have recently invested in 5 new P-8 Poseidons. Sweden has long been a leader in naval technology, and its latest moves reaffirm this position. The Swedish Navy is adding 4 new Luleå-class corvettes, modernizing its Visby-class corvettes, improving stealth capabilities and anti-submarine warfare features. In addition, Sweden's development of the A-26 submarine is groundbreaking. These submarines are fitted with air-independent propulsion, making them some of the stealthiest and most advanced conventional submarines in the world. Sweden is also constantly striving to upgrade its maritime patrol and surveillance aircraft, with the Saab GlobalEye being the newest member of the family. All in all, the Nordics are set to raise their naval displacement from about 180,000 to about 300,000 tons by 2030,
Wow.
which will make the Nordic Navy among the strongest in Europe in terms of
Wow.
displacement. These naval enhancements are complemented by increased personnel recruitment across all branches, along with a focus on joint training exercises to build interoperability. Through major training events like Baltops and Northern Coasts, the Nordic navies are practicing joint responses to hybrid threats, solidifying their operational effectiveness as a unified maritime force. Together, these efforts make the Nordic Navy more than capable of defending their waters and securing critical regional maritime routes. In the air,
I'm really impressed by the Nordic countries' commitment to increasing their defense spending and modernizing their militaries. Like, these guys are well equipped, they are well trained, they are well coordinated. I mean, you can't get better than that, right? Like, it's so impressive. It's really impressive.
the Nordic countries are creating one of Europe's most advanced air forces, united under shared training, bases, and strategic operations. Norway is leading with its commitment to the F-35, with 40 jets already operational at Åland and Evenes air stations. Norway's F-35 fleet, set to reach 52, provides cutting-edge stealth and strike capabilities essential for Arctic and North Atlantic surveillance. However, Norway is facing maintenance challenges with the F-35, highlighting the potential need for a more balanced fleet that could incorporate additional aircraft like the Swedish JS-39 to handle high-frequency patrol missions, or an alternative agreement with Sweden over using the Gripen as a patrolling airframe. Finland is ramping up its air force, with 64 F-35 starting to arrive next year, positioning Finland
Wow.
as a major air power in Northern Europe. This move not only replaces the older FA-18 Hornets, but
The
leverages Finnish
silent
pilots'
achievers.
extensive experience, particularly the high flight hour veterans. Known for their high level of flight discipline and skill, Finnish pilots are expected to transition smoothly to the new F-35, bringing Finland's Air Force to a new level of capability. Finland will get newer versions of the F-35 than what Norway and Denmark have received, which should help on the maintenance issues Norway is facing. Denmark is also in the F-35 program, expecting 27 jets to be operational by mid-2025. With Denmark responsible for patrolling Greenland's vast airspace, there are discussions about adding a reliable backup aircraft to the F-35. Swedish Saab Gripens, or maritime patrol aircraft, have been proposed as a potential solution to ensure consistent air patrol coverage and cost-effective operation. Sweden remains dedicated to its own Gripen, a highly capable fighter that aligns with Sweden's strategy of dispersed base operations. With 60 of the new Gripen E models and an additional 100 C and D models in reserve, Sweden's Air Force is set to be one of the largest in NATO per capita. The Gripen's ability to operate from highways adds a layer of flexibility, ensuring Sweden can sustain operations in various scenarios. Sweden is also adding more surveillance aircraft and will likely be of great help to its neighbors who have much tougher patrolling areas to cover. Beyond their fighter fleet, the Nordic countries are investing in critical support infrastructure. Norway and Sweden have pushed heavily for the placement of a NATO tanker aircraft in the Nordics, essential for extended missions across large northern territories. Training is also a major focus, with each country investing in state-of-the-art simulators, virtual reality systems, and cyber warfare training, recognizing the significance of digital security in air operations. Joint exercises under NORDIC, like the Arctic Challenge exercise, further integrate the air forces, providing vital practice in air policing and interoperability. The development of a Nordic fighter pilot school is a pivotal step forward, fostering a shared tactical culture and deepening integration among pilots. All in all, the now combined Nordic fighter force will be one of Europe's largest, with more firepower than many of the largest powers in Europe. As the Nordic countries modernize their ground forces, they're focusing on increased firepower, mobility, and collaboration to respond to new threats effectively. Finland already has one of the largest artillery reserves in Europe, including the K9 Thunder self-propelled howitzers. Their army of 900,000 reservists, maintained through a long-standing conscription policy, ensures Finland is ready to mobilize quickly. Finland's new Patria self-propelled gun, currently in development, could become a central piece in its artillery lineup, enhancing mobile coastal defense. Finland is also likely becoming the home of NORDEFCO's army headquarters. Sweden is upgrading its tank capabilities by upgrading the Stridsvagn 122 into the 123 variant with advanced armor, night sights, and electronic warfare features. Sweden is also expanding its CV-90 armored vehicle fleet and have likely found its most valued international export in the vehicle, which seems to be among the best presently active in the Ukraine war. They're also adding to their artillery fleet and increasing their artillery units to 8 instead of 2. Adding GMLRS systems and doubling their Archer SPG inventory. Norway will receive 54 Leopard 2A8 tanks, which feature advanced countermeasures and active protection systems. Norway's enhanced CV-90, optimized for Arctic operations, underscore its focus on preparing for northern conflicts, where snow and rugged terrain are major factors. Norway is also working towards a long-range NASAMS variant, which is set to compete with the Patriot. Denmark recently selected the Israeli Pulse and Atmos artillery systems to replace its fleet of donated Caesar howitzers. Although the switch has been met with some controversy due to delivery delays, Denmark's decision reflects a commitment to long-range precision artillery capabilities. The CV-90 will play a central role in Denmark's armored fleet, improving maneuverability and troop protection. Personnel increases are also part of the modernization strategy, with all countries, except for Finland, increasing their personnel across the board. Finland already has a large army and essentially does not need to increase. As you can see, the Nordics will be operating one of the biggest land armies in Europe, and combined it will be a powerful force. As tensions rise in the Arctic and Baltic regions, the combined defense efforts of the Nordic countries have strategic significance on a global scale. Together, these nations secure NATO's northern flank, creating a united front. that enhances security for all of Europe. This collective effort highlights the power of regional cooperation, from information sharing platforms to joint intelligence initiatives, reinforcing each nation's security and contributing to overall European stability. This cooperation demonstrates that by combining resources, shared training, and joint command structures, the Nordics create a force stronger than the sum of its parts. Through cutting-edge technology, intensive training, and strong alliances, the Nordic countries are setting a standard for regional military cooperation, one that promises to shape the future of defense in Europe. The transformation of Nordic defense shows a clear commitment to peace through strength and unity. By aligning their efforts across land, air, and sea, Denmark, Finland, Norway, and Sweden are proving that they are prepared to meet the challenges of an uncertain future. As they continue to build this defense alliance, they send a clear message to the world. They are ready. As always, I'd be very happy if you let us know what you thought about this video. And if you like it, please give it a big thumbs up. We've also opened for channel members, and you can support our Nordic Focus channel by clicking join next to the button under this video. Stay safe.
The Nordic countries are a force to be reckoned with. Like in my next life, if there's anything like a next life, I'll wish to be a Nordic. Like, I love how seriously they take their security, and it's very admirable. Like, it's really impressive. I love it. They are always ready to defend their country, and that's something that's so beautiful to see. And I love how committed they are in modernizing their militaries. It will definitely enhance their military capabilities and then also contribute to regional security, which is something that no nation should joke with. Security first, right? I really love this. This was really impressive. It was interesting to watch. I enjoyed the video. I hope you did too. If you did, go ahead, like this video, share it with your friends. And if you want to watch the video uninterrupted, the video is from Military Rated channel. The link to the video is in my description below. So make sure to check it out and give them all your support because they deserve it. That guy keeps bringing very interesting videos to us. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, bye.